Welcome if you're joining us on Facebook and YouTube. So happy you were able to join us. And please don't hesitate to write into the comments section. Say where you're joining from, what's going on in your neck of the woods. If you've participated in a Feldenkrais Access program this year, we would love to hear from you and what your experience has been. And if you're new to Feldenkrais Access, we would love to hear that as well. We're just waiting for the live stream on Instagram to start. Sorry, forgot to say that. We'll be getting going in just a minute. Thank you for your patience. Okay, we're live on Instagram as well now. Welcome to everyone here and far, now and later. My name is Juniper. I'm the managing producer for Feldenkrais Access, and I'm so happy to be here with you all for this special holiday workshop, No More Stress with David Zemach-Bersin. We're also joined today by Anastasi Siotis and Roz Ori. Oops, Selena. That's funny. Roz and Anastasia are here to help. If you have any questions during the course of the lesson, please don't hesitate to reach out to them. You can reach them if you're in Zoom through the comments section or through the message, through the chat of Zoom. And if you're joining us on Facebook, YouTube, or Instagram, you can reach us through the comments section of those platforms. And please don't hesitate. We very much want to help, so please reach out. And we are also joined today by Nadia Genois, who's doing the lesson in a chair. So if you need to translate the lesson into a seated position for whatever reason, you can see how Nadia is engaging with the lesson. I'll be spotlighting her periodically. And I'll also be spotlighting our team of video volunteers who are doing the lesson as instructed. So you can see how they're engaging with the lesson. If you're in Zoom, please have your camera oriented in such a way that David can see your whole self. That's super helpful for both him and Roz and Anastasi if they need to offer you some guidance. And just one announcement, which is that we have our end of year sale going on right now. So please take advantage of that. Most things at Feldenkrais Access are 35% off. Okay, that's it from me. I'll hand you over to David. David, you're muted.
Thank you, Juniper, and hello to everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. And thank you so much for joining us. And I'm very touched that you are here. I hope that many people will continue to listen to the lessons once they're posted. But I really appreciate you joining me live here in our annual winter free lessons for reducing stress. And as we all know, um, both objectively and subjectively, um, our brain, our body, um, we work best when we're able to be in what is termed a parasympathetic state, a relaxed state. And that being in a state of stress for a prolonged period of time is unhealthy, is deleterious to all sorts of basic functions, sleep, digestion, um, the most respiration. These basic functions are profoundly affected by stress. Now, for most of us, the stress is something outside of ourselves. It's not necessarily even something that we have control over. But what we do have control over is our internal state, our internal organization. And for this, I consider the Feldenkrais method to be the best antidote I have ever encountered for making a profound change in the internal state of your nervous system. So now, the truth is, the real truth is that all Feldenkrais lessons reduce stress. All Feldenkrais lessons are effective at reducing stress. And that, in fact, the ones that are most effective for you, you have to find out. You have to find out by doing, we all adapted and are actively adapting to stress in our own particular way, in our own, just as you have your own handwriting that's different from my handwriting, your ways of adapting to stress are unique and unique to you. So it may be that some particular lesson, which I like, I enjoy, but for you, that lesson has a very profound change to your nervous system. And you say, oh, this is what I've been looking for. So rather than it being the Feldenkrais method being a cookie cutter approach, that you have stress, so you do this lesson. You have a issue with your back, you do this lesson. The Feldenkrais method is not a cookie cutter approach. We can say certain lessons may encourage a particular effect, but in fact, the truth is that every lesson changes all of you, the whole of you, changes you internally and externally. Every lesson improves your organization internally and your external organization. In other words, your posture, your acture, your relationship to the external world, and produces. And here's an important thing in terms of what we're on to today, our subject today, is that every lesson increases the distance between ourselves and the way that the external environment affects us. It creates, every lesson creates a little bit of a buffer between what's happening outside of myself and how I react internally. Some people, psychologists, would call that self-regulation. And I would say that every Feldenkrais lesson improves our ability to self-regulate. So we're going to do two lessons today, one a bit longer than the other. And if you have any difficulties lying on the floor, please, you can do both lessons lying on your bed. If you can't lie at all, either way, and Nadia will be doing the lesson in sitting. So we try as best we can to make the lessons accessible to you. All right. So please lie on your back. And I just want to say one additional thing. We will be lying on our side in some of the first lesson that we do, and most of the second lesson that we do. We'll be lying on our side so that if you need some kind of little pillow or something for your head, you can get something now so you don't have to get up later. Yes, and then please lie on your back. And if simply lying on your back, you have something behind your head, make sure it's as little as possible, as minimal as possible. Why? Because when you put something behind your head, it tends to decline your head, which means that your chin is brought closer to your throat, and that restricts your breathing. And if from my saying that you think to yourself, oh, but I use a pillow at night when I sleep, and I would simply say, use as thin a pillow as you can. Now, feel welcome to bend your knees if you have any strain in your back. And please put your hands on your lower abdomen, your elbows resting on the floor. And begin by simply feeling the contact of your right foot with the floor, meaning your right heel, where it touches the floor. And then, of course, you can feel that at a certain point, the outside edge of your right foot is no longer touching the floor. And there's your 5 toes. And then there's the inside edge of your right foot and the sole of your right foot and the top of your foot. There's the 5 nails of your 5 toes. Some toes you might be able to individuate, meaning just feel that toe. Other places, maybe you're a little unsure. Maybe it feels like you're sensing 2 toes. But you'll see by the end of our time together today, it'll be very easy to feel each individual toe. And now slowly, just using your attention, move your attention up your right leg. There's your calf, feeling where the back of your leg is touching the floor. But there's also the side and the front of your leg. In other words, the full 360 degrees, the circumference of your leg and the back of your knee. There, probably for most people, the back of the knee is not touching the floor. And the front of your knee and your upper leg, your upper right leg. That's it. Just feeling, not just making contact with that part of yourself, but also sensing where maybe you're doing a little holding, a little bit of muscular work that you don't need to. And then do the same thing beginning with your left foot, feeling where your left heel makes very clear contact with the floor. That's it. And the outside edge of your left foot, the inside edge, your 5 toes from underneath, the space between your toes, and then your 5 toes from the top of your foot, the 5 nails, and the sole of your foot, the bottom of your heel, and then slowly proceed up your left leg, just the full 360 degrees, feeling internally if you can relax a little more. There's somewhere that you're unconsciously holding, and the back of your knee, and your upper leg, the upper left leg. And now bring your attention to the left side of your pelvis. Feel how your left buttock rests on the floor, and then the right side of your pelvis. And just observe if one side of your pelvis is resting more on the floor than the other side. And the key here is that we're not trying to change anything. It's in the observing of ourselves that the improvement will occur. It's hard to understand, but it's in the sensing, it's in the focusing, turning our focus toward ourselves that the improvement occurs. That's right. And so that's all that's needed, rather than kind of pushing ourselves into one configuration or another. And now slowly move your attention internally, but up your spine, very slowly, just noticing how certain parts of certain vertebrae are resting on the floor, and others may not be touching the floor. And it's not a matter of one way being more desirable or better. And you move your attention all the way up your spine, and you can feel there's certain places in the middle of your back and your upper back that are pressing very clearly against the floor. And then if you go a little higher, you can feel there's a place where behind your neck where your spine is not touching the floor at all. That's right. But the back of your head is, isn't it? How is the back of your head lying on the floor? Is the back of the right side of your head more in contact with the floor than the left? Or the left more than the right? Most people have the back of the head is very symmetrical. Other the shape is nearly identical. For me, they're not symmetrical because I had a very bad fall, concussion, and fractured the back of my head a little. And so one side feels a little different than the other. And your left shoulder, feel how your left shoulder blade rests on the floor. And then there's the distance from your left shoulder to your left elbow. And from your left elbow to your left hand that's resting on your lower abdomen. And your right shoulder. Feel the contact with the floor of your right shoulder. Does one shoulder blade feel clearly as if it's resting more on the floor than the other? Or more in contact with the floor than the other side? Maybe. And then there's the distance from your right shoulder to your right elbow, and from your right elbow to your right hand. That's it. And now just observe the movement of your lower abdomen as you inhale and exhale simply, not in a exaggerated way. We want to see if during the lessons today we can reduce as much as possible the things that we do arbitrarily, self-consciously. And for many of us, once someone says, notice your breathing, we immediately begin to do something that I would call contrived. So it's important to understand that everything we do today, we are utterly uninterested in evaluating ourselves, in judging ourselves, in ascribing any kind of value to what you're doing. And now, again, notice the movement of your lower abdomen. And now, a few times, after you exhale completely, wait a moment and then swallow some saliva and notice if that somehow changes the movement of your lower abdomen. So you exhale completely and then you just wait a moment, swallow, and just wait for the movement of inhaling to happen, as it will. We inhale in response to changes in our brain. Our brain, our nervous system is able to measure the amount of available oxygen. So rest assured, you will inhale without any need to do it intentionally. Good. Now, do a funny sort of thing. Take your tongue and take the tip of your tongue in front of your lower teeth. That's right. So you take your mouth is relaxed. There's no need for your teeth to be touching each other. And you take the tip of your tongue and you lie it in front of your lower teeth. And now see, does that affect your inhalation? If you exhale and then you take your tongue and just notice it, take your tongue in front of your lower teeth and then simply notice the movement of your abdomen. Of course, the movement of our respiration is profoundly affected by our stress levels, the ways that we internalize that stress. Just notice. Nothing we're doing or anything I'm saying is prescriptive, but you observe. Does taking your tongue down and in front of your lower teeth and staying there, does that change your breathing? Very good. Now, we're going to be lying on our left side. So I just would like to say you're going to lie on your left side. If you can easily lengthen your left arm, please do so. So your left ear is lying on your left arm. Or you can have your elbows bent. Or if neither of those is comfortable, you also have the alternative to have some kind of padding under your head between the floor and your left ear, and to have your arm in front of yourself. And we'll show you some images of if anything I just said was confusing. Here's an image on the screen for you of all three of those options. Good. And I'll give the directions, offer you the directions for the lesson as if we are lying on the floor, as if we are lying on our side. So for those of you lying on your bed, I don't think there'll be much translating for you to do. For those of you who will be doing the lesson in sitting, you will have, Juniper will highlight Nadia. All right. Now, please stretch out easily, only easily, stretch out your top leg, your right leg. You stretch it down. That's right. And now, very slowly, leaving your the front part of your foot on the floor. And again, if it's any strain at all to have your leg more or less straight, then you, of course, you allow your right leg to be bent. But now, leaving your big toe on the floor, lift your heel a little bit away from the floor and toward the ceiling. That's it. Just slowly, you lift As you exhale, your right hand is standing on the floor in front of you. That's right. Your right hand is standing on the floor in front of yourself. And with your fingers pointed more or less upwards. And then you lift your heel, and you can feel as you do that your leg is turning a little bit, isn't it? Very simple. You lift your big toe comes to stand. The big toe of your right foot comes to stand on the floor. In other words, you're turning your heel over your toes. You feel your toes are coming almost into a standing position. Maybe not all of your toes, but certainly your big toe immediately comes to stand on the floor. That's it. You rest between each movement and you exhale as you lift your heel. That's beautiful. Very nice. Now, as you do that, you can feel that there's a resonance elsewhere in yourself to that small, tiny movement of your heel lifting away from the floor and toward the ceiling. You feel that? You can probably feel your pelvis is moving a little forward. And maybe your right shoulder is moving a little forward. You just observe. You find that just using your attention in this way of just with your attention observing the connection between the lifting of your foot, the turning of your leg, and the way in which that movement of your heel travels. In fact, it moves up your spine. In other words, there's nothing else you're doing intentionally. When I say that your pelvis maybe is moving a little forward, that's not a suggestion for you to do something. We want to proceed in the lesson with each movement doing less. And now allow your eyes to turn toward the floor as you lift your heel, as you exhale, and feel you use your attention to feel where can you do less? Maybe your jaw. That's right. And now just gently turn your head and eyes a little bit to the left as you lift your right heel. So in other words, you turn your nose a tiny bit toward the floor without lifting your head. It's just it's subtle, it's minimal, but your nose definitely turns a little bit toward the floor, but without lifting your head. In other words, there's tremendous muscular effort needed to lift your head. And that effort to lift your head will inhibit the movement of your spine. So it's just the suggestion of turning. Very good. Now, please bend your right leg and just rest for a moment. Well, you can rest on your back. Let's rest on the back for a moment. And just because you might be curious, that such a small, minimal movement, actually, something has changed, maybe. Something has changed in the right side of yourself compared to the left side of yourself. The feeling of your appreciation of your right leg and your right foot compared to your left leg and your left foot. Maybe even the right side of your neck, the right side of your face already feels a little different. Or maybe not. And lie on your left side again. And again, I'll repeat again the ways that you might lie. You can have the left arm straight, meaning that the left palm is facing the ceiling, your left ear on your left arm, your right hand standing in front of you. And you draw up your knees so your knees are perpendicular to your pelvis and your lower legs are parallel to your spine. Or you can use a thin pad between your head and the floor, or you can bend your elbow if you wish. And now stretch out your right leg again, downwards. And again, you can allow your right knee to be relaxed. If there's any, you don't want to have any strain in the right leg. And now slowly keep your heel on the floor and lift your big toe away from the floor so that your toes go a little bit toward the ceiling. That's it. And then come back. So it's just the opposite turning of our right leg. That's it. The toes come toward the ceiling. And so that turns your right leg. Maybe it turns your right side of your pelvis a little bit. Just slowly. Your right hand is standing on the floor. And you may feel something interesting, that the pressure of your right palm on the floor increases a tiny bit. And you may feel that your chest, your ribs are turning a little. And maybe your eyes are turning a little toward the ceiling. That's it. You're not struggling to make the movement bigger or better or more aesthetic. You're only interested in doing less work so that your foot is completely relaxed. And the only thing that you're doing intentionally is turning your toes toward the ceiling. Do you feel any resonance of that turning of your toes in your in your shoulder, in your right shoulder? How about where the ribs on your left side, are they moving in relationship to the floor? That's it. But only what's easy for you, only what's simple. And by using the word easy, I don't mean do more, make the movement bigger, larger, just the contrary. That's it. And now alternate between these two movements that we've done, lifting your heel toward the ceiling and feeling how your pelvis turns, your chest, and then lifting your toes toward the ceiling. That's it. And you can observe how that turning around in axes, you can feel it all the way up to the top of your head. There's the axes of your right leg. There's the axes of your spine. All right. Please stop. Line your back again and just observe. Any distinction you feel between the right side of yourself and the left side of yourself. Your right shoulder compared to the left. The contact with the floor of your right side compared to the left. The feeling of length of your right leg compared to your left. And now please slowly roll onto your stomach. So you lie on your stomach. And if that's impossible for you, you can again do the lesson in your imagination now, or you can do the lesson as I've suggested, lying in bed. And now put your left ear on the floor and stand the toes of your right foot. That's right. Only your right foot. And then lengthen your right foot. In other words, so that the toenails are facing the floor. So you lengthen your right foot, and then you stand the toes of your right foot. So you alternate between, that's right. As you exhale, as you do what's easy, you slowly, you lengthen or extend your right foot, and then you stand the toes of your right foot, just easily. Your legs are separated about shoulder width apart. Your left ear is lying on the floor. That's it. And now notice when you stand your right foot, which toes are standing on the floor? All 5 toes? Or is it predominantly the first 2 or 3 toes? You feel. That's it. Now, bring your right foot to stand. That's it. On your toes. And very slowly move your right heel, tilt your right heel inwardly. Just slowly you tilt your right heel so that the weight of your foot comes a little bit more onto your big toe. That's it. And then you tilt your right foot back to the neutral. So very slowly, you tilt slowly, you tilt your right heel toward the floor between your legs. That's it. And you can feel again that your right leg is turning. The entirety of your right leg is turning. Maybe your pelvis is turning a little bit again. Just slowly. Now, stand your right hand on the floor so your right elbow is toward the ceiling. And just very slowly, as you tilt your right heel toward the floor between your legs, you just push your hand the tiniest bit to help your pelvis turn with the movement of your heel. That's all. You're just using your hand a few times to help you to roll your pelvis to the left. In other words, the right side of your lower abdomen is coming away from the floor. You feel that? The right side of your lower abdomen is coming away from the floor as you tilt your heel to the inside. That's right. To the left. Good. All right. Rest a moment on your stomach. Just feel the way that appreciate the way that your right foot is resting on the floor. Again, put your left ear on the floor and stand your right foot. And your arms are simply lying comfortably on the floor. And unless you find that the only way for you to be comfortable is to have your right hand standing, then of course you can stand it. And now tilt your heel to the outside, in other words, to the right. That's it. Slowly. That may feel like a little bit smaller of a movement. That's it. Maybe if you turn your head and put your right ear on the floor, it'll be a little easier to tilt your heel to the right. That's it. Slowly, slowly. Feel where can you soften your chest? Good. Maybe stand your left hand and see if that helps you a little bit to get the idea that your pelvis can follow. That's it. Follow what? Follow the movement of your heel. And now you feel that the lower abdomen on your left side comes a tiny bit away from the floor, doesn't it? Each time just feeling where you can do less, where you can strive less. Good. And now turn your right heel to the inside and to the outside. And to the inside and to the outside. And notice you can feel pretty clearly the movement in your hip joint, in your right hip joint. The movement of the heel again, just as when we were on our side, the movement of your right heel is turning your right leg. And it's turning your upper leg in the hip joint. That's right. Very good. Rest for a moment on your back, just because for some people, lying on the stomach is something you don't do very often. So you can, of course, yourself, you don't have to wait for me. You can rest on your back whenever you want during the lesson. But now observe, does one leg feel longer than the other? And is one side of your chest, the back of your chest, resting on the floor more than the other? Whether we're on the side or on our stomach, we've just been doing pretty much the same simple movement. And yet, and yet, we we can feel very, very clearly that it must have not been just an isolated little movement. We see how obvious it is that our whole self is connected. Lie on your stomach. Separate your legs about shoulder width apart. That's it. Bend your elbows, lie your left ear on the floor, as we've been doing. That's it. And now leave your right foot stretched out and slowly, slowly begin to move your heel again to the inside, to the outside. That's right, to the left and to the right. So it means that the pressure of your nails on the floor is altered. That's it. You just do what's easy. And just observe. Of course, you feel that your leg is turning, but how far up your chest and your spine do you feel the echoes, the resonance of that turning of your heel that you're doing, the turning of your right heel? Is your pelvis still turning? And your spine and your chest? Good. Rest for just a moment. Now, in a simple, easy way, continue that movement of your right heel, going a little to the left, a little to the inside, a little to the outside. That's it. Turning your right leg, turning around itself, and begin to slide your right hand toward the right side of your head, but without interrupting that movement of your right foot. So your right foot is moving simply, easily. That's it. To the inside and to the outside. And without coordination, means without syncing the timing with the foot, you move your right hand to caress the right side of your head. the right side of your face, just touching wherever you can easily, allowing your right hand to be soft. That's it. And your breathing is simple. That's right. You find some of you, you stop moving the hand, then you stop moving the heel. But the heel is slowly moving to the inside and to the outside. And what's happening with your right hand and your intention to touch the right side of your face, your right cheek, your hair, maybe the top of your head, your forehead, wherever you can, is happening independently of the movement of your foot. The movement of your heel is constant, and the movement of your hand is simple and easy, so simple that you can breathe easily and not interrupt the movement of your right heel. That's it. Maybe the right side of your neck you can touch. Your right elbow remains on the floor. It can, of course, it lifts a little, especially if you go to feel the back of your neck. So you're not inhibited in any way, but and of course, if you rest, then still keep the movement of your right heel moving almost like a metronome. If you were a pianist, you would just be moving the heel, say, is the bass line, and your right hand is playing the melody. That's it. Feel maybe the back of your neck or the back of your head a little bit, the top of your head, just softly, easily, while your right heel is turning. That's it. And your breathing is easy. Excellent. Please stop and lie on your back. And now just observe the feeling of your right shoulder compared to your left shoulder, your right hand compared to your left hand, right side of your face. And please bend your knees and slowly roll to your side and come to sitting and come to standing. Just simply. And we've only worked with one exclusively, haven't we? Exclusively with one side. And now you observe, does one shoulder feel lower than the other? Does one arm feel longer than the other? And walk around your room, just observing the disparity in sensation between the right side of yourself and the left side of yourself. Good. And now come back and lie on your left side for a moment. Come back to your mat, your rug, and lie on your left side in the way that's comfortable for you. And stretch out your right leg just easily, whatever is simple for you. That's right. And now go ahead and alternate between lifting your heel toward the ceiling and taking your toes to the right and leaving your heel on the floor. That's right. And just feel as if you're rolling almost as if you were going to lie on your back on the floor. That's it. And do it, carelessly. Just go ahead and rotate your right leg from your right foot. That's it. Well, your head and eyes can turn to the right also, can't they? And then your head and eyes can turn to the left. And now do it quickly 10 times. Blop, blop, blop. That's it. Like rocking. Rocking to the right, rocking to the left. Okay, good. Line your back. Just one more time. Observe the length of your right leg compared to the left. And it's not simply an an artifact of your perception. Your perception is accurate, meaning that your right leg is lighter than your left. Your right leg is longer because unnecessary muscular contraction shortens us in general. And as you reduce that unnecessary contraction, the actuality is that your right leg is longer, the right side of yourself. And please lie on your right side. Draw up your knees. And this time, of course, your right arm is long, your right ear on your right arm, or your arm can be bent, or you can put some thin, small amount of padding. That's right. And stand this time, your left hand on the floor. Good. And slowly, slowly begin that first movement of lifting your heel. Just slowly. We're not the kind of readers who read the last page first. I know friends who read and they read a novel and they read the ending before they read the beginning. Here, you don't want to jump ahead because it's the process itself that deepens the improvement. Just what we used to call having a beginner's mind. And of course, we're not doing the same thing. Our appreciation of our left leg and our left hip joint and the turning of our spine forward is, well, it's completely different than with our right leg. So just do what's easy, just what's simple, just what feels not not comfortable in the sense that you can endure it, but what's comfortable in the sense of, oh, that's pleasurable. That's easy. That's right. Remember, you don't need to keep the right leg rigidly straight. You can allow your left knee to bend a little. And don't forget, if you have any questions along the way, feel free to contact Anastasia or Roz. That's it. And you exhale as you do that. Now, feel how there's many things that are easier to identify and sense because we did the movement so exclusively on the right side first. So now see if you can feel how your weight comes onto your big toe. Of course, maybe now it's maybe your first two toes or first three toes. In other words, as you lift your heel away from the floor, your foot is coming, well, almost into a standing position, isn't it? That's it. Good. And can you feel that your left hip is moving forward? I'm confident that your left hip is moving forward because the movement inside the hip joint is actually quite small. And once you've used up that part of the movement of the humerus, the femur of your of sorry, the of the ball of your femur turning inside the hip joint, then your pelvis begins to turn. Good. And your chest and your spine. And by turning your focus, changing the locus of your attention, spreading your attention about yourself, you bring more and more of yourself into the movement. And this is what's restorative. That's right. Slowly. Maybe you can turn your nose a little bit toward the floor. It's almost as if you're turning like a cylinder. But the only intention other than that little turning of your head is required for lifting your heel. That's right. You'll see if you make the movement even a little smaller, the improvement will be greater. All right. Please stop and rest on your back. Now, observe the movement of your lower abdomen as you inhale and exhale. Just observe. Is that a little different than when we started? Please lie on your side again. Lengthen your left leg. And only doing what is simple and easy. Turn your foot again around your heel. It's the same axis of rotation, but now you're rotating your right leg is rotating a little in the opposite direction. But your heel remains on the floor. That's it. And you'll see the less we are in a rush to make a change, the less we're in a hurry to have an improvement, to make an improvement, you'll see the greater will be the improvement. Why is that? Because the desire to do something, the desire to have a change, already organizes us in a way that we use too much effort. That's right. As you exhale, you lift your big toe away from the floor, your toes turning toward the ceiling. That's right. Just what's easy. Just what's nice for you, comfortable for you. And begin to turn your head and eyes toward the ceiling as well. That's it. Only what's easy, though. That's right. Good. And now begin to alternate, lifting your heel and standing on your toes. That's right. And turning your head and eyes a little bit to the right, just what's easy. And then, that's right, the return journey is lifting your toes toward the ceiling as you turn your eyes to the left. That's it. Softening your chest and your stomach and your jaw. Good. Please lie on your back. You feel if we were to only do that movement of turning our foot in that way, if we were to do that for an hour and keep reducing the effort, that would be enough. That in itself. That's something so simple. Now, of course, if I was reading the newspaper at the same time, which is my distraction, but if I was looking at my phone at the same time, which is probably other people's distractions, or thinking about what I'm going to make for Christmas dinner, wow, there would be no change to be felt, no improvement. So the improvement is a function of the way that we pay attention to our experience. All right, please lie on your stomach and put your right ear on the floor. That's it. Good. And your arms are bent at the elbows. That's right. And now slowly a few times begin to stand your left foot and to lengthen your left foot. Again, only what is simple. And you'll see you stand the toes on the floor. And maybe to begin with, you find, oh, it's just my big toe and my second toe that are touching the floor. But as you begin to pay attention to yourself, you'll feel that the plasticity of your foot, the suppleness of your foot will begin to change, will begin to improve. Your your feet are much stiffer than they need to be. And you'll see that just this little bit of sensing and feeling yourself, your feet will get softer, more nimble. Good. And now stand your left foot, and you see you begin to move your heel a little bit. Which way first? Toward the big toe, toward the inside. Slowly, slowly, as you breathe easily. That's it. And you'll find, interestingly, you'll find that wherever you reduce the effort, there'll be an improvement in the movement of your heel. In other words, if you feel, oh, I'm pressing my tongue up against the roof of my mouth, and if you relax that effort in your tongue, you'll find, oh, the movement of my heel is easier. Isn't that interesting? It's not the tongue. It's everywhere. You'll find the same thing. If you're able to reduce the effort in your shoulders, your stomach, that's it. And now take your heel the other way, meaning toward your little toe, toward your fourth toe. That's it. So between those two movements, all 5 toes of your left foot are making contact with the floor. That's it. And you're breathing easily, comfortably. And the sensation is pleasant. The sensation of what you're doing is nice. That's it. So a little to the inside, a little to the outside, a little to the inside, a little to the outside. That's it. Beautiful. Please lie on your back. Of course, doing the movements with the left leg, the left foot, your brain is able to transfer an understanding from having done our right side first. It's not at all the same thing as when we did the right side. And observe the movement of your lower abdomen. And please lie on your stomach. And of course, this time you put your right ear on the floor and your left foot is long. Your left foot is long. All 5 toenails are touching the floor. And now slowly continue that idea of moving your heel to the inside and to the outside, and to the inside and to the outside. And slowly, why slowly? Because the slower you do the movement, the more time you have for actually feeling yourself, the more time you have for feeling where you can do less. So you go slowly, moving your left heel a little bit to the inside and a little bit to the outside, a little to the left and a little to the right, relaxing. Well, of course, your right leg, there's no need for your right leg to do any work at all, is there? That's it. And now, very slowly, as you do that, begin to move your left hand to explore the left side of your face, but slowly, without speeding up the movement of your heel. That's right. The, the movement of your left hand is happening independently of that metronomic movement of your left foot. That's it. That's right. Just only where your left hand is comfortable. Right? Maybe the left side of your face, maybe the top of your head, maybe the back of your neck. But where you're comfortable touching, because the idea is not that you must touch with your hand, touch everywhere on your head. The idea is that you're moving only easily while maintaining that simple, easy movement of your left foot. That's it. Your left leg, your spine, your chest, your left hip. That's right. So you don't want to hurry the movement of your hand, because surely then it becomes difficult to maintain that simple, easy movement. And relaxing your abdomen and your tongue and your jaw. You're just interested in, what can I do? Where can I move my hand on my head, on my neck, on the side of my face, but while maintaining that lack of extraneous effort, keeping your abdomen relaxed. That's it. Keeping your mouth relaxed and your jaw. Maybe you can touch your ear, your left ear, your forehead. That's right. You're breathing. And your hand is soft. And your chest is soft. Good. Please lie on your back. And bring your attention to your lower abdomen and just feel the rising and the falling. And the length of your left leg. And just one last time, lie on your right side and stand your left hand and lengthen your left leg. Just what's easy and comfortable. That's right. And slowly return to that very first movement we did of turning your feet toward the ceiling and turning your heel toward the ceiling and allowing yourself as if that movement of the foot can carry you forward. That's it. And back. That's it. You may feel that your pelvis is going, the back of yourself is going closer to the floor than before. That's it. And see if you can turn your eyes and your nose to the left as your toes go toward the ceiling, and your nose and your eyes toward the floor. And your breathing is simple. And go ahead and increase the speed a tiny bit. That's it. As if as if somebody else was turning your right leg in such a way that you almost kind of flop backwards and then you kind of flop forward. That's right. All right. Please stop. Please lie on your back. And just observe your contact with the floor and slowly bend your knees and slowly roll to your side. And slowly come to sitting and to standing. And just observe. Would you say that you feel taller or shorter than when we started? That's right. Just see, just feel how your head floats to a kind of new orientation in space. That's right. And walk around for a moment and just observe if somehow your knees feel a little more fluid, flexible, light, and your hip joints. That's right. You feel a little taller or shorter. Good. So we will take a 10-minute precisely break, 10 minutes only, and then we'll come back and we're going to build on what we've been doing, and we'll go to, I don't know, 10 after the hour or so. We had to wait for those Instagram folks, so I'll give you an extra 10 minutes or so, and so see you in 10 minutes.
I think we're going to get started again in just a moment. Thank you all for staying.
Juniper, you might want to tell people about the recording, just in case.
Oh, yeah.
Have
Yeah.
to
Anyone who has to leave early or who already did leave early and is happening to listen to this, just continue listening later. You can find the recording on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and there will be an email sent out to everyone on our mailing list with the recording. So
Fantastic. So the goodness of the holidays can you can take it with you. It's your
that's
gift.
right. Share it with your friends and family.
Yeah.
Everyone can lie down on the floor in front of your Christmas tree or menorah, whatever you have going on.
Great. Thanks.
Thank you, Anastasia. And David, just give a shout when you're back in the room because I can't see you yet.
David is here. He's just muted at the moment.
Oh, okay. David, did you realize you're muted?
Good. Welcome back. We'll just do a feel good mini, I don't know, 20 minutes, 25 minutes. So we won't go over very much. I know that some people are very precision oriented in relation to time, and that's okay. I just wanted to mention I'll be doing another free class next third. No, in the 2.5 weeks
January
on
9th, Thursday, January 9th.
Thursday, January 9th, exactly. And that will be kicking off a series dedicated to liberating your shoulders. So please, please lie on your back. Just just lie there and observe your contact with the floor. And please just observe that movement of your lower abdomen as you inhale and exhale. And lie on your right side. Again, feel welcome. Feel welcome to have your elbow bent, but otherwise your right ear is resting on your right arm or on some cushion if you need it. And that's right. And now take your left hand and bring it over the top of your head so that your fingers all 5 fingers are above your right ear in such a way, but only what's comfortable, in such a way that you can use your left hand to lift your head. So you're coming around over the top of your head, above your right ear, You're lying on your right side. That's right. Oh, do I have it wrong? No. You're lying on your right side, and your left hand is on the right side of your head above your ear. And now, very slowly, as you exhale, lift your head. Just slowly. Your head is quite heavy, so you only do what's simple. Your hand is not behind your head, but wrapped over the top of your head so that your fingers are above your right ear. That's it. And slowly, you can feel that when you lift your head, the ribs on your left side get a little shorter, don't they? That's it. Good. Stand your left hand on the floor. Stand your left hand in front of yourself. And now lengthen your left leg as we've been doing. And again, just what's easy for you. And slowly lift your left leg away from the floor. Just slowly you lift your left leg toward the ceiling, not to the ceiling, but toward the ceiling. Just only what's easy. Small movement. That's right. And you can feel that each time you put your left foot back on the floor, you rest completely, and then you lift your leg and feel, that's right, that your pelvis tilts or tips toward your chest. You feel that? The left side of your pelvis tips. Good. Please lie your left leg on top of your right. Take your left hand over the top of your head to take the right side of your head above your right ear, and just slowly lift your head a little and see if something about lifting your head feels a little lighter, a little easier. Just slowly. That's nice. As you exhale, as you feel where you can do less. And now, each time you lift your head, just slowly lift your left foot away from your right foot. Your left lower leg will lift away. So your knee stays on top of your other knee, but you lift your left foot toward the ceiling. That's it. Feeling where you can soften the side of your chest. One side of your chest moves closer to the floor, doesn't it? Where on the other side of your chest, kind of like an accordion, the ribs come closer together. All right. Please lie on your back. And just feel the left side of yourself compared to the right side of yourself. One side of your chest compared to the other. And now slowly lie on your left side. That's it. Draw up your knees so your knees are perpendicular to you. Reach with your right hand over the top of your head to take the left side of your head above your left ear. And just slowly, you take your time and you lift your head the little bit that you can comfortably. That's it. So as a result, your right ear comes closer to your right shoulder, doesn't it? And the ribs on the right side of yourself have to soften so they can come closer to one another. And now slowly, go ahead and lift your right foot away from your left foot as you lift your head. And you sense, does that lifting of your right foot, does that make lifting your head more arduous or less? In other words, does it lighten your head or make your head heavier? That's it. As you exhale, and just lift your head now. Let your right leg rest on top of your left, and just slowly lift your head and say, oh, maybe it's 2% easier, 3%. And rest on your side for a moment. As you are, stretch out your right leg. That's it. And a few times slowly, with your right hand standing on the floor in front of you, lift your right leg away from the floor toward the ceiling. That's it. And just observe how the lifting of your leg actually encourages those ribs on your right side to come closer together. But of course, it's much more than that. It's that the center of yourself, your pelvis and your lower back, are enabling your ribs to come closer together, facilitating your ribs coming closer together. That's it, just what's easy. And now, if you wrap your right hand over the top of your head to take the left side of your head, you'll find here you can even bend your right leg, lie your right leg on top of your left, and you'll find, oh, my head feels a tiny bit lighter. In other words, that's it. In other words, your brain learned something, changed something. Because obviously your head weighs exactly the same amount as when we started. And now stretch out your right leg and do those two movements together, but slowly, easily. Because it's only if you do it slowly and easily. That's right. That your ribs can come closer together. That's right. Only what's easy. Your right ear, it's as if your right ear is coming towards your right shoulder. That's it. And your pelvis is, in an interesting way, is tilting. And that tilting of your pelvis is helping your ribs to, helping your chest on your left side to widen. Feel how wide the left side of your chest is getting. That's nice. Good. And please stop and lie on your back. And just observe your feeling of yourself again. And please lie on your right side. That's it. And draw up your knees so your knees are perpendicular to you. And now lift your left leg. Just what's easy, just what's comfortable. Straighten your left leg and then lift it toward the ceiling and slowly make a circle with your left leg. Say a clockwise circle. You imagine the clock being below your heel. That's right. And you make a simple circular movement of that axis of your left leg that we've been thinking about and feeling since the very beginning. That long line. That's right. And change the direction. Of course, you can feel that circular movement in your chest, can't you? In your lower back. Good. Rest your left leg on top of your right. That's it. And now slowly bring your left hand over the top of your head to take the right side of your head. And see again, is your head a tiny bit lighter? Is your ear coming a tiny bit closer to your left shoulder? That's it. Only what's easy. Good. And now lift your head, stay there, and make a circular movement of your head. That's right. Around the base of your neck, you could say. You just do what's easy, but you can feel if you sense the right side of your chest, you'll feel that circular movement and change the direction of your circle. That's it. Very nice. Rest your right ear on your right arm. Stand your left hand on the floor. And just, again, lift your left leg toward the ceiling. See if maybe does your leg feel a little lighter? Isn't that interesting? That the improvement in one place makes an improvement in another. And now stay with your left leg lifted and make a counterclockwise circular movement. And see if you can reduce any unnecessary holding so you begin to feel that that movement of your left leg making that counterclockwise circular movement in space, you can feel it all the way up to the top of your neck, the base of your neck, your chest, Good. Please rest on your back. Please lie on your left side. So you lie in a way that's comfortable for you, and your knees are perpendicular to your pelvis. Stand your right hand on the floor, and now lengthen your right leg. That's it. And lift your right leg a few times, just slowly, easily. You'll see that it's easier than the last time we did it, because, of course, when we were lifting our left leg a minute ago, that's it. Our right side was moving. Good. Keep your right leg in the air and make a clockwise circular movement. That's it. And again, the same idea. You reduce any holding, any effort, so that you'll feel, you see that the effort dampens the movement. It's the effort that inhibits the movement from continuing up your spine and your chest. That's it. And change the direction. Very nice. Please lie your right leg on top of your left. Take the left side of your head with the fingers of your right hand, all 5 fingers, above your ear, around your temple of your left side of your head. And now slowly, slowly, go ahead and lift your head and feel if there's a little bit of a lightness that wasn't there a few minutes ago, the last time you lifted your head. Beautiful. And now lift your head, stay there, and make a circular movement of your head. A circle around that's right, around the base of your neck. If you had a pencil sticking out of the top of your head, you'd be drawing a circle. That's it. And change the direction. Very nice. Please stop for a moment. Stand your right hand on the floor. Stretch out your right leg. And just observe. Even just the lifting of your leg is a little easier, a little lighter, because of the cooperative relationship between your pelvis and your chest has improved. All right, please lie on your back. Please lie on your right side. That's right. Bring your knees to be perpendicular to your pelvis. Straighten your left leg. Take your hand over the top of your head so that you can, that's right, so you can easily lift your head. And now lift your head and your leg at the same time. Just slowly. And see if you can feel that there's something about doing those two movements together that is making them both a little easier. And now lift both, just what's easy, and make a circular movement with both. Whatever direction you want, you make a circular movement with your leg. You make a circular movement with your head. That's right. And you breathe. And change the direction. Beautiful. Please stop and line your back. Now, of course, you're going to have access to the recordings of today very soon. We'll tell you when it's posted. And of course, then you can do any of the movements as many times as you like. That's right. Please lie, of course, on your left side. Take your right hand over the top of your head. Lengthen your right leg. And now, again, only what's easy. You lift both your head and your right leg, feeling how the lifting of your leg brings your ribs, helps to bring your ribs a little closer together. And that the lifting of your head brings those ribs closer together. Then this is what we would call a synergistic relationship between. That's right. And when you rest completely. And now lift both simultaneously and stay there and make a small circular movement of both your leg. That's right. And your head. That's it. And change the direction. You'll find wherever you put your attention, you'll feel that circular movement. And breathe easily, comfortably. That's it. And please stop. And please lie on your back. And observe the movement of your lower abdomen, the contact with the floor of your spine, your shoulder blades. And slowly take your time, but bend your knees. And slowly, slowly roll to one side, and then use the top hand to help you to come to sitting. That's it. And take your time and come to standing. And just, even though we only spent, well, almost a half an hour with this little ditty. You feel? You feel taller? Go ahead and walk around and see if you feel that your chest is moving in a simple way. Your arms. That's it. And I hope you will have a good season ahead of you, and you'll feel that you. Now, I'd like to say one thing. If these lessons, I believe, as I told you at the outset, I believe that all lessons are the antidote that we need, each of us, you and I, that we need for reducing stress and for changing what should we call it, changing our nervous system into a more parasympathetic, positive, nourishing state. But I want to, for those that don't know about it, I just want to say there's a series of also free lessons called Soothe and Calm that's on the Feldenkrais Access website. And you might find those lessons of great value. All right. Thank you very much. And